Hi, welcome back to a little bit of Common Crazy. Today I'm going to share with you 3 Dollar Tree DIYs. Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I am so glad you are here today. I cannot wait to walk you through my 3 Dollar Tree projects. But before we even get started, if you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. And by clicking that little bell, that is the way you are notified every time that I upload a video. I don't know about you, but I love decorating for the different holidays. It is even more fun if I can do it on a budget. So, by creating these 3 Dollar Tree DIYs, I was able to do just that. I love how they all turned out. You will hear me say that quite a bit throughout this video. I just was super happy with the end result of each of these, and I hope that you find at least one of these that you would like to recreate yourself. I would love to know which one is your very favorite as you go through, so leave that for me in the comments below. I can't wait to share these 3 Dollar Tree projects with you, so let's just jump right on into them. The first project, you are going to need 4 pieces of wood. I have used pallet wood for this. You are going to take all the wood, and I cut it 12 inches in length and took an inch off the width of that top one. E6000 glue, sandpaper, these words that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, you can get them all in one pack, and I did do a haul on that. Rope that I actually grabbed from Hobby Lobby because it's cheaper with a 40% off coupon. Some white paint, as well as a stain that can be deep penetrating. You will also need the tools for the paint and the stain. What I am not showing is that I also used a staple gun. I have pre-drilled my holes that I will need for this project, and if you've seen the final project, you can get an idea of how I have done those. I did use a drill press, but you can use a regular drill. You just want to make sure that your holes are wide enough for your rope. I'm going to stain each piece of wood. At the beginning, I thought about only staining the front and the sides, but you will see in the end that I went ahead and stained all the way around, including the back, just to give the final product a little bit more of a finished look. Here you see I'm putting the stain on the rag and then squeezing the stain in the holes. That way I can cover up that raw wood even after I have the rope going through it. I want to make sure that I don't see any of that raw wood. I finally decided to try to find a better way to do the staining without wasting so much stain. So here's where you see that I'm using that second piece of wood to catch the dripping stain, and so I'm kind of double staining at the same time. Now you will see that I will go through and wipe quickly so that I don't have like a big puddle of stain sitting there all by itself for a while. I wanted to make sure that this would still all come together, so you'll see that I'm in the process of wiping one piece and then I'll wipe the other, and it all turned out perfectly like this, and I didn't feel like I was wasting as much as I was in the beginning. I also started to stain the sides before the front and the back. That's because no matter what I did, every time I went down the sides it was going to drip on the front and the back, and I figured that by staining the sides first, when I got to the front and back, maybe I would then use a little bit less stain and just save myself a little bit less. Anywhere I can just save a little bit of stain and a little bit of money, that's what I'm gonna try to do. Once I was done staining everything, I made sure that I let them completely dry for a few hours out in the sun on my driveway, and then I'm going to come back in with the white paint and begin painting each board. Now with the paint, I only did paint the top and the sides. I did not paint the bottom. Once everything was painted, I let them dry overnight before coming back out and sanding them. So here you see I have 100 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to take it around the edges and then just kind of sand wherever I want to get that distressed, worn look that I am looking for. This is such a personal part of the project, so you kind of just need to find what you like and how you like it. Another thing that you might want to notice is my palette board is all scuffed and roughed and textured. I left it that way on purpose. I really wanted these to be just a little bit rough looking, a little bit more rustic. I just felt like it the rustic of the wood going with the cool sleekness of the metal looks really good together. So this is what it looks like after I'm done sandpapering. Now I'm going to go in and use the rope and a staple gun and attach everything together. So I start off by cutting my rope, and so the very first one is going to be the handle and how you want to hang it. So again, kind of depending on how long you want it, I wanted mine to be a little bit longer so that you see that I kept mine fairly long, about 18 inches. But you can play with the height of that depending on where you're going to put this. Now here you see I'm really struggling trying to get the rope into my hole. It is just unraveling and coming apart. I even tried scissors, but let's be honest, that's just a little bit on the dangerous side. So I finally came up with the best solution. I grabbed some masking tape and then I just wrapped it around the end of the rope, and it threaded through the holes of the wood perfectly by doing this. So just taking a little bit of an extra time at the beginning made it so much of a smoother way to get the rope through those holes. So that is my biggest tip for you when you are doing this. Once you have the rope through, you will use the staple gun to staple it to the wood, and that is how you are going to keep the rope in place. So I went ahead and cut 8 more pieces of rope. They're all about 7 inches long. It really depends on the thickness of your wood, what length you'll need of the rope. And then I added the masking tape to it because I told you that is the best tip ever in order to thread your rope through. And here you see, this is where I got the placement for my holes that I drilled. My wood and the way that I want my sign is that I would like my pieces to stagger between left and right. And so my holes won't line up if all my wood is lined up perfectly. You have to shift the wood in order for that to work. And so I'm threading the rope through, and then I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to use the staple gun to attach it. And what is really important is that you make sure that your wood is exactly where you want it, whether you're going to do this straight or if you're going to stagger it, that it is where you want it and how you want it before you do your staple gun. You also want to see that you cross your rope over the opposite board, and that is where you will staple it. That is how we will keep the sign together. So here I am lining up my holes again, making sure that my boards are where I want them, that I'm offset between left and right, threading my rope through, and then I will flip them over and cross the ropes and staple again. Now I did find with stapling that it's a lot easier if I put my hand on the front part of the staple to add extra pressure. I found that I got a better, deeper staple than if I didn't do that. So if someone's like me and maybe you struggle with this, then that would be another good tip for you. You also see that I use several staples. I wanted to make sure that this was good and sturdy. So I went ahead and included holes on the bottom of the last piece of wood as well. And the reason for this is I wanted to have the rope go from the top to the bottom just to give a little bit more of a finished look. So instead of flipping these over onto another piece because they are not being used to secure anything, I just flipped them both up and staple them down. And they just wrapped around that bottom piece of wood. Almost done with this. Now it is time to attach the metal words. I am super excited. So it says, "Welcome, Thankful Harvest." We're going to use the E6000 glue in order to attach it. I'm just going to slowly put it around each of the letters on the words and then adhere them to each board. I am just using a really thin layer of glue all the way around each letter on the word. That way I make sure that it's nice and secure to the wood. You don't need much. It really is a very strong glue, but I do want to make sure that I have glue coming in contact with almost the entire letter so that I don't have to worry about anything ever coming kind of underneath part of a letter of the word and then pulling it up later. So just dotting those I's and crossing those T's and making sure I've covered all of my bases.
I repeat the process by adding the glue to Thankful and Harvest. I give everything just a little bit of time to dry. I think it will dry quickly as far as you can move it around, but it does say cure for 24 hours. After that, the project is completed and I could not be happier. In the second project, you will need 2 plates, a vase, a rope again, the E6000, and a hot glue gun with several sticks ready to go. So I'm going to begin by taking the vase and the rope, and I am going to put some hot glue at first to start attaching the rope, and then just add some glue as needed and continue to take the rope all the way up the vase to cover it completely. Once you have finished taking the rope all the way around, just cut it off and make sure that you secure that very last end so that it does not come unraveled. So here you see that I'm adding the E6000 all the way around the vase in order to attach it to the plate. Now I went with the blue plate. You can go with any color you want. You can do a white. Anything will work. I chose blue because I really like how the orange pops on the blue, and I think it'll look really pretty for fall. But I also have a lot of blue in my home decor, so this is something that I could use all year round. Now I'm noticing that the plate isn't really attaching to the vase like I want it to. It's not making contact with the sides. So I went ahead and removed the plate, added a little bit more E6000 to the center of the vase, and then reapplied the plate. Again, just like before, this does need to sit and cure for about a 24-hour period before you can do anything with it. But pretty much after that, it is all done. And again, I love how it turned out. For the third project, you're going to need to grab a sign, it doesn't matter which one, some twine. You will also need some paint. Again, I'm using some chalk paint here, but choose what you want, and a hot glue gun. So start by cutting off the ribbon and detaching the centerpiece from the outside piece. I will be painting the front and the back of this. I will actually be using the back side for the project, but I wanted to tone down the colors and the glitter on the front side of it so that the completed project just had a little bit more of a finished look. Once it is painted on both sides, just set it aside to let it dry, and then we'll begin working on the outside piece. So I'm taking a little bit of hot glue in order to start my twine so that I make sure that it stays nice and secure. After that, I just start wrapping my twine all the way around, and I just want to make sure that I am covering everything. Now I am focused on the main part of the pumpkin to begin with. I will worry about the stem at the very end. So just wrap it all the way around. Some parts will be a little bit thinner, other parts will be chunkier. Just make sure that you're not seeing the glitter. I lost the footage of me doing the stem, but what I did is I just, again, made sure I wrapped it all the way around, used glue as I needed in order to add the stem. Here I'm just showing you different ways that you can do this, and we'll get back to this in just a second. But before I did that, I did attach the centerpiece again, and I added the string that I wanted to use to hang it at the top. So I did have to work around those two pieces. It did make it a little bit more challenging to do that, but that is how I wanted to do it. You could always add the centerpiece in at the end if you wanted to. So I have decided that I want to use the word thankful. I will go in with my E6000 on it, attach it, and then I have a cute little sign to hang in my house that I just absolutely, again, like how it turned out. Of the 3 projects, which one is your favorite and would you like to recreate? I would love to know. Please leave that for me in the comments below. Don't forget, I do post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye.